Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Today, I expected not much. Thing is, I was thinking that the high of the week might be in. And a big part of finishing this week out is that I wasn't able to trade on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. So I'm not really looking to push my luck hard on Thursday or Friday. We did have a lot of news today that I thought might push the market around. But as I looked at the support and resistance picture, what we really had is something around 72 that I would be interested in long. And everything above, I really wasn't up until we get up to 4308, 4305, that area. I was willing to let everything work out until that point. So as we go down in the time frame, what we see is that price continues to coil. You can see that there was a major flush up higher and then full retracement of that, but no new low. Then we make a move higher, and again, 85% retracement. Fair value gap doesn't hold. No new high, no new low. Finally, a new high around 3 o'clock, which I'll talk about in a second. But what you don't really see is any fair value gaps being created after a pivot's being taken. Market is consolidating and had opened really, or yeah, I guess it really had kind of opened in premium on the week and on the day. So as it's doing that, it's coming down into discount with an opportunity here. And I'll talk about what I did there. But you can see that the day basically just stayed sideways, and the high time frame support really didn't hold all that well. So what I'm looking at here on the 5 minute is I had a level that I wanted to use here in the morning, right down here, right down here. And on the first test, we get a reaction, but you've got this breaker right here and a Globex gap, and it tested it to that price and then rejected lower into an already rebalanced fair value gap before it started pushing higher and rolled over. This fair value gap held. By this point, I'm thinking, well, this really seems like balance and this should roll over. But it kept pushing, 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 pushing. And it does look like a second leg failure, second leg trap, 1, 2. But it kept pushing. And when it couldn't roll over quickly enough and into lunch, I decided to let it go. It does roll down and then go sideways, rebalancing this whole area before trying to break out at 3 o'clock, a little after 3 o'clock, and then concluding back inside the range. And I expected the 3 o'clock failure to happen and we would come back down to 78. Nothing happened quickly. Almost nothing, except for the first trade that I took. Nothing happened quickly. So from a process standpoint, what really kept me on side, kept me comfortable for the day, is the fact that I was following my process exactly. I only made one mistake today, and I was able to get out of that trade without any loss. This is on the 2 minute time frame just because I couldn't get a great visual. Couldn't get a great visual on the 1 minute. It just didn't look good. But what you see coming down into here, I got the secondary low that I'm taking long here, and I scale out right where I expected it to stop. Comes back down, makes another low. For me, this was not a long because of the fact that we had relative equal lows over here. My expectation was that if we don't hold here and get up to here before coming down, then we're probably going to go through it. And I would want to let it do that, and then if it reacts and goes higher, then I'll go with it. If it doesn't, then I'll go short. So I walked away throughout all of this, and then once it started to consolidate up here, I felt as though this might be a worthwhile short. And all of my signals told me that we should roll over, and we didn't. We kept pushing, 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 and then it finally rolls over. And when this happened here, I was actually at my desk, but I was going into a meeting, so I didn't want to really take that trade. We do have a balanced day. We do have a fair value gap created here. It was on the 1 minute as well, which is what I was looking at. So you have a break of a pivot, balanced area here, break, high, retest, retest of the mid of an important order block, if that's what it is, and then you get a roll down, and you'd be looking for this right here, maybe that. So that's a great trade. It just didn't work out for me. I was a little early, and treating this area as though it didn't need to do this action here because we didn't take out any liquidity on the bottom. So that was my theory. It turned out I was wrong. Then as we start rolling back up here, we're rebalancing this fair value gap here, but after 3 pushes, 1, 2, 3, I felt like this should roll over, and it ultimately did a little bit, but just kind of went sideways before it did the 3 o'clock breakout. So I took the 3 o'clock breakout as well, but you can see that I kind of planned for it to roll over right from here rather than getting through the overnight high. Now, I kind of thought it might go through the overnight high, but it just came up so slowly. It was difficult to really have complete patience on whether or not this was going to roll over. So, again, nothing really worked out the way I expected it to today, but it's also August, and I'm trying to keep my attempts low. The error that I made, I mentioned earlier, was right. Oh well, it's not going to show here on the 2-minute because it wasn't on the 2-minute. It was on the 1-minute. But I want to say it's right here. I was not supposed to have been in that trade. It showed a 1-minute fair value gap, but it didn't break any structure, and that was a total mistake on my part. So I held it. I got lucky. I got out of it. Complete luck that I got out of it without a loss. So that's a mistake on my part and an error. So the process used today was trading what I somewhat expected to be a balanced day using the fair value gap process for ICT. And this is the kind of thing that I discuss in my trader workshop, where I break down the processes used for your trading. So I'm sharing this because in hindsight, it's easy to understand the kinds of decisions that you should make. And the trader workshop that I offer is, if you're struggling with process and if you're making mistakes while you're thinking about trades or once you're in them, those are the kinds of things that I discuss in my trader workshop. So I'd encourage you to check that out, see some of the people that have been through it, and give that a look. Love to see if we can help you get your trading where you want it to be. Thank you.